right, Mr. Jeremy Hardy and Mr. Tim Brooke Taylor. And finally, he's the jazz musicians panel game chairman. He's still alive. Mr. Humphrey Littleton!
I'm sorry I haven't a clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin Sell and your chairman is Humphrey Littleton.
Hello and welcome to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the show that is to comedy what Florence was to the Renaissance, and what Zebedee was to the Industrial Revolution. You join us today in the Lowry Centre in Salford. Yes, Salford, part of the great metropolis of Manchester. As the epicentre of the Industrial Revolution, it was here that a phrase was coined that has survived to this day. What happens in Manchester today happens in the rest of the world tomorrow. So listen up, rest of the world. Tomorrow is going to drizzle. The origins of Manchester lie in a Roman settlement founded by Julius Agricola. His fortified town was called Mamucium, meaning a hill shaped like a breast. As Agricola boasted, he liked to name places after whatever he missed from home. However, he kept strangely quiet about founding the town of Ramsbottom. In 1485, Manchester figured heavily in the Wars of the Roses. Eventually, the dynasties known as the House of Lancaster and the House of York were united by Henry VII, who combined both into the House of Fraser. Peace reigned here until the Civil War, when royalist troops under Prince Rupert used the city as a base from which to attack nearby towns. He ordered the sacking of Bolton, when the entire town was reduced to a miserable pile of rubble. Later, funds were provided for reconstruction, and work is expected to start soon. The Manchester we recognise today only really appeared with the Industrial Revolution, when the city's population was housed in overcrowded slum dwellings. However, sanitary conditions were improved when pipelines were constructed to bring fresh water from the Lake District. These worked well until the 1960s, when one resident ran a bath and discovered Donald Campbell in it. Throughout the 19th century, inventors devised many industrial machines here. There was Arkwright's cotton frame and Hargreaves' 8-spindle jenny, and workers were later amazed by Crompton's spinning mule, possibly one of the cruelest circus acts of the world. The industrial labour movement was born in Manchester, eventually growing into the Trades Union Congress. So successful was the TUC that it was once honoured by having a cheese biscuit named after it. The Manchester area has long welcomed immigrant labour from Europe. Salford was known as New Flanders because of its Flemish weavers, while Ancoats became known as Little Italy because it changed sides 3 times during World War II. pioneering feminist Emmeline Pankhurst was born in Manchester. Starting in 1910, Pankhurst campaigned noisily for women's rights outside Parliament every day from 4 o'clock in the afternoon. She would have got there earlier, but she always had a stack of ironing to get through first. Another noted Mancunian was the businessman and philanthropist Jonathan Didcot. On retiring, he sold his business here and left to tend to the poor and homeless in Liverpool, where his good work was said to be tireless, just like his car. The most famous name associated with Salford is artist L.S. Lowry. A number of his famous matchstick paintings are displayed here in the Lowry Centre. Approximate contents, 49. Well, it's time to meet the teams, and I can honestly say you couldn't ask for 4 better comedians. So that's answered your next question. They are on my left, Graham Garden and Barry Cryer. And on my right, Timbrook Taylor and Jeremy Hardy. And please welcome the lovely lady who has for many years enjoyed sitting on my left hand. The ever delightful Samantha. Oh, I am sorry. There appears to be a problem. I've just received this note from Samantha to say she's been delayed meeting a gentleman beekeeper friend near Warrington. Samantha's just started keeping bees herself and has 3 dozen or so. And she says her friend's an expert handler. Apparently he carefully takes out her 38 bees and soon has them flying around his head. Oh well, on with the show. Let's